Neil Vogel, thanks so much for joining me on Insider Interviews. It's a little bit about reinvention. You are in the Hall of Fame for the Folio Awards, so congratulations.
I should be in more Hall of Fame than this. I need to be in a lot of Hall of Fame.
I'll see what I can do. Who do we know? Actually, we know a lot of people in common, and I'm so thrilled. Like, a bunch of our first degree connections have been on the podcast, so I'd like to think you're in good company.
Cool. Well, thanks for having me.
Yeah. Neil, what's changed in the industry since you won your Folio Award?
2018 to now, we're very small. Dotdash. We've since bought Meredith, which was Meredith and Time Inc. We're now the largest publisher in America, maybe in the world. I think industry-wide, I don't think anybody needs me to just give like the litany of changes from how we get audience to how we monetize audience to how we serve audiences. If there is a lesson to be drawn from this, right, the rise and fall of social, Google, AI, all these other things going on, is that we're in a place of constant change.
I've also listened to some of the things that you've been talking about recently and the changes in media, and you're not afraid. So Dotdash, Meredith, it's now People. Tell me why you're not afraid and you work in publishing.
So I think, and you and I have talked about this in other frameworks, like I think for the last few years, their narrative on publishing and on media, particularly like more legacy media writ large, has been pretty terrible. And I think a lot of that is people confusing bad business models with media being a bad business. I will posit the case that media is a fantastic business. People are on media more now than ever before, and there's more money being spent against media in various ways, whether it's commerce, whether it's advertising, or whatever it is. And it's your job as a media executive, or my job, or whoever's job, is to make things people want and need. And if you can do that, you can build a great business. The rules of media have been the same for 100 years. If you have brands that people love and trust, and you make content or products that they value and find necessary in their lives, for small things like People Magazine entertainment news, or more complicated things like living with diabetes on our brand very well, or cooking dinner with all recipes, if you can do that, you have a place in the universe. And if you love your brands and you love what you cover and you love your audiences, you're going to have a very, very bright future. And again, for the past 100 years, companies that have done this have grown to scale. They've grown 10 to 20% a year. They've lived at very good margins. And those rules have not changed. What has changed is the way people do it. And if you did it an old way and you are not comfortable switching to new and other ways to do it, you are doomed. If you do it the old way and you can look at things with a clear eye, be entirely unsentimental, and do new things, I think you can do great. And we're not perfect and you're only as good as your last quarter, but I think we're an example of if you are not fearful and not scared, and we always say around here, like, we're going to happen to things are not going to happen to us.
Love.
And you are forward looking, you got a real chance.
Yeah.
And we have a chance, and you can see it in our numbers, and you can see it in our audience size. And I think we go into every year and every new chance being like, we have a chance. We got to figure out the deal here, but we have a chance.
Yep.
We got brands, we got people, let's go.
Well, you've got brands like People, and you have great people.
Yes, capital P people and lowercase p.
And I love them both. Like people like Alicia Borza. She was on my show years ago and still killing it over there. And you also talked recently about how you have reinvented how people use and access your content and how not to be afraid of changes in search.
Search for us, if you turn back the clock
Yep.
and you go to when we were just Dotdash before the merger, 70% of our traffic came from search. But at the time, 90% of the open web came from search. So if we weren't good at search, we were bad at our job, right? So then that started to change, and we recognize that. We're not entitled to search traffic, just like we're not entitled to Facebook traffic. You have to earn it. From the time we bought Meredith to now, our traffic from search has gone from 65-ish% of our total traffic to 30-some% of our total traffic.
Holy
But
moly.
our total traffic has grown along the way.
Oh, that's interesting.
Because we realized what was happening. We were very ahead of it, and we've worked unbelievably hard at making other sources grow and be material. Everything from direct traffic to email to everything else. And that doesn't count our explosive growth on social and Apple News and all these other places. And I think one of the things that we've been very tuned to is, in the old days, people were like, oh, you guys are just tuned to search. Well, yeah, that's where the market was. Yeah. It's like, if you have a store in a mall and 90% of the people in the mall are in one end of the mall and 10% are in the other end of the mall, put your store in the part of the mall with all the people, right? Yeah. Right now, but now there's no more mall. Like the mall, someone blew up the mall. So now we have to go and get audiences everywhere. So we're doing new things, like we're launching an app for capital P people to attract people. We've launched a giant recipe locker that has a huge number of signups already. Like, we're doing all these things to connect directly. And for us, it's just a battle of, can we grow new sources of audience on platform and off platform that are valuable faster than we lose old sources? And this has been the challenge of media forever. Uh-huh. And it's just happening really, really, really quickly.
And so the changes in a physical copy, and I have a couple of your magazines on my table behind me, but the changes in the physical into the digital, is there such a happy medium as phygital when it comes to publishing?
We have never tried to change from print to digital. That's like a fool's errand. Okay. What we've done is take what we've done with People. Before we bought Meredith, People was run by an editor-in-chief, and that editor-in-chief had basically say over everything and every place people lived. Mm-hmm. We didn't think that was smart. We're like, that can't be anymore. Like, how can a print editor-in-chief have any idea what's going on TikTok or on Instagram, on Apple News, or on all these other things? So what we've done is we've changed it. We have a new editor-in-chief who's amazing, Charlotte Triggs. And what Charlotte does is sets the direction for the brand. And the direction for the brand for People is the concept of, the most interesting thing to people is other people. And it's ordinary people doing extraordinary things and extraordinary people doing ordinary things. Let's agree to that ethos. And then we're going to have entirely separate teams make the magazine, make the website, make TikTok, make Instagram, make Apple News, make our app. Like, fully different product, edit, everything teams. It all has to be people stories, but it's different. Yeah. We don't repurpose anything. We might cover the same things, but they can do whatever they want. And you know, the back in the day, you'd put George Clooney on the cover of People magazine, the print would do great, but people on TikTok didn't know who George Clooney was. It's not that anymore. Right. Now it's Clooney would be on the cover, Kardashian is on the internet, Alex Earl's on Instagram, and you get how that works. They're all people personalities and people stories, but the product, the tech, the distribution just lives natively to where it goes. Yeah. Now, that's a huge loss of control. That is not a command and control operation anymore. That is a editor and a management team, Leah Wire and her whole team and Charlotte, entrusting our most valuable brand to these diverse and different teams. And it's worked out swimmingly. And we've done it to every property. Like, People, when we bought it, the knock on the Meredith acquisition was like, none of these things are going to grow. They're all on the wrong side of their life. People is way bigger now than it was then. We were like, I'm going to get the number slightly wrong, but 6 or 7 million visitors a day online. Now we're 10. Wow. Now we're like huge on Instagram, huge on TikTok. We've launched an app. We're doing all these events. Like, the energy is back. And if you can bring energy and bring a fresh way of looking at things and not be precious, like, we've done 14 things on People that have been disastrously wrong, but nobody knows and nobody cares because you just switch them.
Got it.
And everyone's like,
jazz hands.
Yeah, totally. Well, we've really pivoted from print to digital. We haven't. We still have print. Mm-hmm. We still have a couple of million people that pay to get it every week.
Like, but you're all things to all people, you know? So what?
We're a brand. Yeah. We're a brand, and the People brand has to manifest itself differently for a 58-year-old woman who loves the experience of the magazine and a 21-year-old person who wants to be in the app. Yeah. And you can serve all those audiences.
Now, one way that you learn what to serve those audiences is through a pretty robust data analytics system you've set up, right?
Sure. Yeah.
How does that work?
Both our CFO and I were both Wall Street people for period of time at the beginning of our career. So we're very math heavy. And exactly. Human beings and creative people always make our content, because at the end of the day, if you don't make stuff people love, it doesn't matter what your math says. But we use a lot of math in how to set up a web page and how to set up an app to make an ad work properly. And if you do it right, and you understand how these markets for these things like ads and commerce work, you can make more money with fewer intrusions on your audiences.
Okay.
And that was like the original revelation here, was that in any experience, take it like a mobile web experience, that we can make more money with 3 ads than anyone else will make with 9. Because you put the 3 in a place that will perform better.
At the right side of the mall.
On high quality content. And you can do better, and people like the experience more. And then it gets really circular. And it was one of the great realizations we had here was, if you invest in the infrastructure and you make things clean and fast is more important before than it is now, but really well designed, it's incredibly hard to make simple things. It is incredibly easy to make complicated things. You don't make any decisions when you make something complicated. But if you make something simple and beautiful, you can figure out very easily how to make money in a way that your audience is cool with. And that's where the math here for us really, really comes in.
Awesome. Well, that was simply beautifully put.
I don't get often called beautiful, so I'll take it.
Okay. And you're in the Hall of Fame, which is new to you, too.
What a day. What a day.
Neil Vogel, thank you so much for joining me on Insider Interviews. It was very spontaneous and brilliant.
Thanks. It's always fun chatting. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, I hope you got some good insider scoop from this episode of Insider Interviews with me, E.B. Moss. If you enjoyed this content, please feel free to buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/mossappeal. And I hope you'll follow Insider Interviews on social media and let me know if you have a question or a suggestion for a next stellar guest in media, marketing, and advertising. Speaking of stellar, my theme music was composed and performed by the incomparable Grammy-winning John Clayton. If I can help you with your company's podcast, please find me at mossappeal.com. Thanks again for listening.